Hi, my name is Tara Vogel. I'm a GNE myopathy patient, and my guest today is also a GNE myopathy patient. Her name is Amy. Amy is a patient advocate and program manager for the Neuromuscular Disease Foundation. Amy, do you recall your initial thoughts when you received your GNEM diagnosis?
I am 37 now, and I received my diagnosis when I was 27. My initial thoughts were briefly, I guess I would have to say, relieved. We had finally received diagnosis. It had been about a 20-some year journey for my oldest sibling, and for me it was about a seven-year journey. And relieved, so we finally knew what we had and we could figure out where to go from there, but also scary because we didn't know what was going to happen from there. There wasn't much information on that.
Interesting. What was the reaction or reactions from your siblings and your parents?
They were also relieved. We had been misdiagnosed about two times at least with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease and spinal muscular atrophy. So to finally have a genetic test confirm that we had GNE myopathy was a big relief to know that we have a confirmed diagnosis, not something where doctors told us we had it and then we researched it and said this isn't what we have. We know that, and then doctors would come back and say, no, I think you have this. And we could tell them, no, I don't think this is what we have. It was finally, we found a doctor who actually listened to us and figured out what exactly we do have. It was a big relief for our family. And from there, we could do our research and try to figure out what is life ahead for us now. What are we going to have to deal with, and figure out if there is research trials or anything like that ahead of us. So having the right information does help with your diagnosis.
Yes, I agree. I remember when I got my diagnosis after a 40-year journey, I felt a sense of freedom. Like I could go on the rooftop and shout out, hey, I have a confirmed diagnosis.
Yeah.
How many in your family suffer from GNEM?
My parents had 4 children, and all 4 of us have GNEM.
Wow. That has to be hard on your family to have 100% in your family diagnosed with GNE myopathy.
It is hard on my family, but we go on this journey together, and I think that helps us. We're stronger together as a family, and we use each other for support as we buy different assistive technology, different devices and stuff like that. We can bounce ideas off each other, and it brings us closer. And 4 minds that have GNE myopathy can really think of different things to help each other.
Yeah, that's very helpful.
It is, yeah.
So my next question to you, Amy, is what are some things you wish someone could have told you about dealing with GNE myopathy? And what do you think other patients should know?
I really wish that someone, told us that you're going to have just as much an emotional toll as a physical toll when you are dealing with a rare disease, and that you should always keep that in mind from the beginning of your journey, and do as much as you can for that emotional side of you as you do for your physical side, because as you lose your muscles, you are dealing with that psychological effect on you as well. As you lose your ability to do things, it does have a saddening effect, a depressive effect on you, and you need to constantly deal with that. And I wish that even though I might not have listened in the beginning, that someone did try to address that with me and, you know, helped me try to figure out a way to start dealing with that from the beginning.
Yeah. Now you have been dealing with this GNE myopathy for many years now. What kind of emotional support are you getting?
I use meditation for myself, and I use a journal that I don't let anybody see, so I can let my emotions out. And with the NDF, we use that monthly support group that I go to virtually, and I go through another support group with the Muscular Dystrophy Association once a month as well, where you can speak with other people that have similar diseases in both the virtual NDF and the MDA support groups, so that you don't feel alone and that you're not the only one on these journeys. And people who have the same types of diseases know what you're going through, and you can talk with each other and know that, one, you're not alone, you're not the only one going through this, and that when I journal and when I meditate, I can get a hold of myself and understand that I can make it through this, that I am okay, and that there are still things that I can do, and that I can enjoy my life still with what I can do. And I make sure that I do activities now that I do enjoy with the abilities that I do have. For example, this morning, my fiance and I and a dog went to a very national park very close to my house called Valley Forge, and I used a scooter, and we walked the dog for a long time and had a little picnic there. And so even though I'm not walking in the park, I still had a very good time.
Yeah, that's a very sweet thing to do with your fiance and the dog. It's very therapeutic, isn't it?
It is, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, I like that you know, you meditate and you have a journal, and you also go to the support group that the NDF has monthly. That's a very helpful group for GNE myopathy patients.
It
I
is, yes.
myself have attended quite a few of the support group, and along with you, we have led the group, so it's a very helpful group.
It is.
Yeah. If you have to think about so far in your journey with GNE myopathy, what's the biggest hurdle you have had to overcome?
The biggest hurdle I've had to overcome is leaving work
Mm,
and feeling lost from that. I retired from work on disability, and I lost myself in that process. I felt like, you know, my career was my life's work, and I had no identity after that. And
mm,
but I dug myself out of that hole, and I realized that you're not defined by your career, um, and that there's still other things that I can do with my life. And I decided to make helping other patients with GNE myopathy my second career, so to speak, and helping other people with disabilities has now become my passion. And I brought myself out of that hurdle because I realized that, you know, I'm not the only one in this situation. There are other people, and if I can help other people out of situations like my family's been in, then I have done a great thing for this world.
yeah. Yeah, it's hard to have to leave your job, and you know, when you identify with a gainful employment and the work you were doing as a teacher was so helpful to your community, and to leave your job, that had to be uh, um, a very big blow to your, you know, your self-confidence.
It does, yeah. It took a while to overcome it, probably about a year.
Yeah.
But I eventually brought myself out of it with the help of my fiance and my family and the NDF. And now I realize that I don't have to just identify myself as just being a teacher. I'll always be a teacher in some ways, but that I can do other things with my life and still be happy.
Yeah, and you're a really super teacher in so many ways. I've come to know you over the years, and you have so much to teach all of us and other patients. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Now another question. Dealing with a rare disease such as ours, where our physical abilities and emotional abilities are affected, what are some lighter moments that you would like to share with us?
Well, sometimes having a rare disease or a disability can get you into some funny situations or have its perks. I was walking out of a hotel with a friend one time, and I tripped, GNE myopathy related. I just wasn't watching where I was walking, and I went from sidewalk to grass and didn't realize it, and I kind of fell to the ground. And but I couldn't get myself back up because I had the GNE myopathy. And next thing I know, I'm standing up again, and I looked to see what it was, and there was a very handsome man in a cowboy hat and cowboy boots and a big buckled belt there, standing right in front of me, and he was the one that picked me back up. And my friend who was standing right next to me said, "Well, this cowboy just saved you," and I was blushing very much because this very handsome cowboy had just picked me up off the ground. And that's a lighter moment that I can always think about, that, you can get saved by a handsome man. And then there's also things like saving, sometimes you get in first in line where, other people have to wait for like movie theater tickets or things like that. And then you get a little bit more excited.
Yeah, that's neat. The cowboy picked you up.
Yes.
We should all have a cowboy ready to pick us up when we fall.
I would love that every day.
Yes. Now, what, if anything, has really surprised you about GNE myopathy?
My ability to adapt and my resilience, and everybody's ability to adapt and resilience. Everybody's that I've met. We're all going through the same journey. It might be slightly different in what muscles we lose, but everyone I've met has been positive, and we've been able to adapt in different ways. But we still maintain a really positive attitude, and we're still achieving our best selves with what we have. And that surprises me every day, and it keeps me going. It keeps positive attitude.
Yes, that's right. To have a positive attitude about our disease. And to wrap up our podcast today, what would you like to share with others so that, we could continue to be hopeful and go about our day-to-day life?
I would like to share that it's okay to have bad days, that not every day is peachy keen and wonderful. Some days we do have bad days. Some days I call them, my muscles just don't want to work today. I drop everything, and I just feel like I'm off a little bit. And that's okay. And then next day you just hope for everything to be put back together again and be right, and that you're okay. And that if you ever have those days, that, Tara and I, Amy, are here to talk, and I have a Facebook group that you can talk to and everything, and that, you don't have to feel like you're alone, because you can reach out to any one of us, and we will be there to talk to you.
Yes, it's good to have a group of people that you could turn to other than your family members. when things get tough, that you could reach out to them. And we do have a support
Absolutely.
group like that.
Yeah,
Amy, I'm
absolutely.
so happy we got to connect today, and we did this podcast on you. It was a really good one, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. You too, Tara.